Welcome to the fourth episode of Today in Arizona Accounting with Wallace Plese Dreher. I'm very, very excited to be joined today by Jason Mattina, audit partner at Wallace Plese Dreher. Jason, great to meet you. Fellow New Yorker, good to have you here. Both been here for about 20 some years. But I have to tell you, one of my favorite things that I learned about you is that when you were a baby, you and your twin brother were in a Spick and Span commercial. How did that come about?
I'd have to ask my mom. I'm not sure how it came about, but and of course, I don't remember anything about the shoot other than having a VHS tape of it, and now my brother put it on YouTube, so it's there awesome. Forever. But yeah, it was 1978, and my understanding is when they shoot film or commercials with babies, a lot of times they'll use twins because they can switch out the kids so there's not too much intensity with the lighting and whatever else. But yeah,
that's great.
I went for about 13 weeks in 1978, and that was my last acting gig. So 45 years between gigs here.
That's awesome. So Jason, what attracted you to the accounting profession?
Well, when I was in high school, I remember having an interest in business in general, not necessarily accounting or the numbers behind business, but just business in general. And when I went to college, it seemed to me, looking at the majors that were available in the business school, that accounting was the most practical one to apply to a job right out of school. You know, there was accounting, there was management, there was finance, and maybe a couple other options. But accounting seemed like the most practical to obtain a job after college, and so I chose accounting, and I enjoyed it. I stuck with it, and here I am, 20-something years later, and still applying what I learned in school.
Well, Jason, you're still a very young man, but you're the longest tenured accountant at Wallace Plese Dreher. What is it about the company culture that makes it so special that's made you want to stay for 20 years?
Special about the culture? Well, early on when I joined the firm in 2002, there was, I want to say, about 10 or 12 of us back then. Now I think we're around 70.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a very small firm at the time, and that attracted me to the firm to start, was small firm feel. And since we were a small firm, it was the staff had direct interaction with partners of the firm on a daily basis. So I was able to learn from Mark Dreher and Anthony Plese and Scott Wallace and Steve Rodas right from day one, and that helped me grow into a well-rounded CPA, a well-rounded professional, and just having that interaction with partners on a daily basis really was helpful to me in my career.
You mentioned well-rounded. One of the things that I really admire about your company is the ability that it gives its staff members to have kind of that work-life balance. I know you're married with kids. How has the culture of Wallace Plese Dreher helped you kind of with that work-life balance?
Well, the firm has always been flexible, not just since COVID, when we had to figure out how to really work well remotely. On the audit side, it was much easier because as an auditor, we're used to being out of the office. A lot of times we're visiting clients. But for our tax professionals, they were used to being in the office day in, day out. And so, we had to learn how to, work effectively remotely. But even before working remotely, the partners were always very, allowed us to be flexible with our schedules. They treat us as professionals, and as long as you are communicating with your clients, communicating with the engagement team that you're working with, they pretty much let you come and go as you please, and as long as the work is getting done, you're meeting expectations of the firm, you're meeting the expectations of, more importantly, clients, and that's allowed us to spend more time with our families when we want to, when we need to, and so that has been part of the firm culture since I started 21 years ago. And that continues today, even with the new partner group.
That's great. What do you enjoy the most about your day-to-day work life?
What I enjoy most is working with the people that I work with, meeting new clients, meeting referral sources such as bankers, insurance agents, attorneys. You get to meet a lot of interesting people along the way, and everyone at some point or another has an impact on your career and helps you grow. But yeah, it's really just working with people that I enjoy working with. I mean, I don't think anyone stays at a firm or any type of company for 21 years if you're not enjoying spending time with the people you work with or working with the clients that you work with.
You know, one of the things when we've talked in the past is that you talk a lot about focus on the team at Wallace Plese Dreher, and how the team can help you. Can you talk a little bit about that teamwork effort that you have at your firm?
Sure. Well, so we have technically four departments in our firm. 3 do professional work, and the 4th department is administrative, and that basically allows the other professional departments to do what they do seamlessly and efficiently. So we have an audit team, we have a tax team, and we have a client accounting and advisory services team. And really, those 3 teams work together to serve clients. Clients understand that their CPA firm is Wallace Plese Dreher, and the firm wants the client to understand that, the firm itself is serving the client, and it's not just one person. They may only interact with a few people at the firm, but there's a lot of folks, there's a lot of expertise behind that team that allows us to serve that client effectively.
That's great. And one of the other things when we've talked in the past is you talk about how every day is different, and there's quite a variety. Can you talk a little bit about the variety that you have in this?
Well, really, no 2 days are the same, and I could spend a day working at a client site. I could spend a couple days working at a client site if the client happens to be out of town, or I could spend the day working in the office doing administrative tasks to keep the firm operating. Not every day is working directly with clients. There are days where I'm helping staff in their professional life, helping them grow as a professional, whether it's training or mentoring, or helping them serve clients and solve client problems.
So you talk a little bit about helping others grow as a professional. So if somebody's watching this video and they're like, I'd be good at a career in accounting, what kind of skills does somebody need to succeed at a firm like Wallace Plese Dreher?
Skills to succeed, what you really need to be a strong communicator. I mean, being good with numbers it helps. I mean, that's kind of the cliche, accountants love numbers, and maybe, but nowadays the computer does the math, right? But really, it's about being able to communicate. I remember having one of my first accounting professors said, you can teach anyone to do accounting, but an accountant is good at communicating what they're seeing with the numbers. You have to be able to describe that to a client and help them understand what the numbers mean. And it's also helping them with transactions, helping them understand transactions or different ways to structure transactions.
So if somebody's watching and they want to become the next Jason Mattina, they want to become a partner in the future at an accounting firm, what advice would you give to them to kind of get on that path?
I would say soak up as much knowledge as you can from the more experienced staff. If you have a chance to sit down, go out to lunch with a senior, with a manager, with a partner, take that opportunity and seize it and soak up as much knowledge as you can, because you will only grow from that.
And that's one of the things I love about your firm is the partners do kind of take the younger accountants under their wings and that's probably not the case in bigger accounting firms, or is it the case?
I did work for a large firm in New York, and there was some of that, but it was few and far between from what I recall. At Wallace Plese Dreher, we really make it a point to take the younger staff under our wing, because the ultimate goal is we want to grow those staff into solid, well-rounded professionals that will hopefully eventually replace us as partners, and whether it's 10, 15, 20 years down the road.
Okay, so Jason, you moved to Arizona a little over 20 years ago. Now you've transitioned to becoming a partner at Wallace Plese Dreher. How did you get on that career trajectory and become a partner that you are today?
Well, Michael, it was really just continuing to work with the clients that I work with, work under the mentorship of the founding partners, and just continuing to maintain that passion to serve clients and work with people that you enjoy working with. And there is one story that I'm particularly proud of is when one of our founding partners retired recently. There was a client relationship that we had that the partner and I worked together on for the last probably close to 10 years. And that client also saw a transition in ownership. It was passed down from the two business owners who were partners, and their two sons now operate and own that business. And I have taken over the role as partner in charge of that client. And so I have a good relationship with the original owners, but now a really good relationship with the current owners. And so it was nice to have that transition of CPA partner to also business owner transition.
That's got to be really rewarding to have a long-term relationship with a client like that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to enjoying the people that you work with. It's really hard to have an effective relationship if you can't get along with the person or see their vision or have them understand how you're trying to help them. A lot of times clients will have ideas, and it's a lot more helpful. We can be a lot more effective in helping them if they come to us and explain what they want to get out of that idea, what they're trying to do, so that we can help them effectively, whether it's in the accounting transaction or tax planning, rather than they go off on their own, try to execute a transaction and realize, well, maybe they should have asked us first, because the outcome could have been maybe a lot more advantageous if we had been able to give them some guidance along the way.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Today in Arizona Accounting with Wallace Plese Dreher. Make sure you look at the bottom of the screen to get contact information so you can learn more about this great company, and we'll see you next time.